Boys, they finally did it. We finally won. Oh, Otherworld battle. Banned tunes. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Debuffed characters. Spider-Man, Jean Grey, and Hulk are this week's debuffed characters in Otherworld battle. Now, there is a difference between being debuffed and being banned. So this is not technically as bad as Timeline Battle, but it might as well be because they only have 5% of their normal basic attack, defense, HP, and instinct attack defense. So they are literally paper cups. And I'll illustrate this very simply by queuing up this fight right now with Hulk and Jean in first and second place. Now, try not to blink because they're going to disappear. It literally says debuffed right above her dumb head. Oh, this is amazing. And I'll get into why it's amazing in just a little bit, but let me just enjoy this. I was on the couch watching TV and the daily reset happened, and then I went and checked, and as soon as I saw it, I lost my mind, and I had to come and turn on the camera and make a video because this is hilarious. So look, my Jean's base HP, not base, but like her calculated HP here is 155,000, okay? 155,000. And then for me, Hulk is at 230,000. So remember that. 155k for Jean and 230k for Hulk. I'm not going to use Spidey because he's not tier 4. It'll be even faster than a blink here. But let's just queue up one match and let's see here how badly this goes. Most people have not changed their teams at all. Holy shit, the first guy changed his team? Are you kidding me? Okay, anyways, that's fine. We're fine. We're fine. Look at Jean. 20,000 HP. Bro, Jean has 20,000 HP. Hulk had 30,000 HP. He's gone. Somehow Jean is still not dead, which is hilarious. Brother, 20,000. Wasp has 250,000. Look at how much HP she has. Oh, you know what? When she revives, she goes back to her normal HP. Oh, they got to fix that for sure. Can Wolverine and Adam clutch this out, though? I don't think they can. Because we're having a hard time with Cable and shit. Or, sorry, Carnage and shit. Ooh, yeah. Wolverine came in and just shredded my HP. My HOC. Oh, but hang on. Adam, ooh. Ah, damn, I lost. It was pretty close. It was not, nah, it wasn't that close. It was not bad. But anyways, it's over. It's over for this week. They might as well be banned. They might as well be banned because you can't use them. Yo, is Adam going to clutch this out? Can my Adam actually clutch this out? Real talk? Oh, shit. Oh, sad. That's okay. But anyways, it's over for Jean and for Hulk and for Spider-Man. You basically cannot use them. You essentially cannot use them this week. They might as well be banned. And this is great. In my opinion, this is great. It's hilarious to see them weakened to this state. It seems that there's maybe a little bit of a bug with Jean Grey because when she revives, she has 20,000 HP, but you can see it's like 20,000, but she still has her pool of what her normal HP is supposed to be. But that's crazy. And I was actually waiting to make this video to combine it with another really good piece of news. If you look up at the top there, it says effects change in 20 days and 23 hours. If you take a look right there, okay? Now, what I want to remind you is that the new season of Otherworld Battle with these effects has only been in the game for about 10 or 11 days, or maybe about 2 weeks. Anyways, it hasn't been that long. So you remember how the Otherworld Battle seasons last 2 months? They last 60 days, right? If the effects are going to change in 20 days, that means in the span of one season, on top of having the debuffed characters rotating every week, and keep in mind, this is only for Vibranium. So if you're under Vibranium and you're not seeing these debuffed characters, and you're like, oh my god, I'm still struggling against Hulk and Spidey and Jean, then you gotta climb up to Vibranium to enjoy this flavor. Okay, but basically on top of the debuffed characters, which is every week, right, which is like a rotating list, which is really, really good, and then on top of the battlefield effects, that's going to change. So that means even though the season lasts, as you can see here, look, the season resets in 48 days, right? So I was right. It's about 12 days. It's been about 12 days. It's been just under 2 weeks since the new season of Otherworld Battle started, right? But it's going to reset in 48 days. But within that reset, we're going to get new battlefield effects in 20 days, which means this is perfect now. This is perfect now. They've really fixed this game mode. I'm actually shocked at how well they've done to fix it because I think the rewards for this game mode are honestly good. I have 18,000 warrior mementos, as you can see up there in the top right corner, and I already bought out the Carbonadium for this month that just reset. It literally reset today or yesterday. It reset like an hour ago, and I bought it already. And I could buy the Soul of the Faltine, and I'd still have tokens left over. So I think the rewards are good, on top of the fact that this is amazing. We're basically going to get 2 battlefield effect changes, right? So we're going to see these different things twice in the span of 1 season. So it basically means that the season, like even though the season duration is 2 months, it's going to feel like there's 2 seasons, because basically the season right now is the season where blast types are dead, right? You basically can't use blast types unless it's Adam, because their attack is being reduced by so much. But then it's also the season where you can't use Thanos, you can't use Gore. That's going to last for another 20 days. But then it's going to change again to something completely different. So maybe Gore and Adam and Thanos are going to come roaring back. All of that plus the debuff characters, right? Maybe next week is going to be Wolverine, or next week it's going to be Adam, or whatever. This is amazing. This is fantastic. So, I just wanted to give praise to the devs for doing that. I think it's amazing. If they just keep this, if they just keep this going and they really stay on the pulse. Obviously, it's going to take someone who works there to keep track of the game's meta, the PvP meta for the game. But it'll get easier as they make this stuff, right? So as they do this, content creators will make more content, right? And players will try different teams, and then they'll have more data, and they'll have more things to analyze to see who are the top characters. So it should get easier for them with time. Now, for those of you wondering what you should do to pivot away from Spider-Man and Thor, Hulk, and Jean Grey, you basically, in my opinion, you can't use these characters. I would say if you're in Vibranium or Challenger for Otherworld Battle, you cannot use these characters this week. It's for 7 days. So you basically have to construct a brand new team. So you're going to still want to use Wasp for sure. You're absolutely going to want to use Wolverine if you have him at tier 3 or tier 4 with the artifact. Adam is a bit questionable. I'd say he actually gains a little bit, because essentially when you remove Thanos and you remove Jean and Hulk and Spider-Man, and you remove Gore, a lot of the remaining PvP threats actually end up being combat types, like for example Carnage. And you could actually build a team here. You could actually stack a bunch of combat types and actually come out with a pretty respectable lineup. Like you could put in, I should probably just sort this by combat because it's gonna be way too hard otherwise. You could actually put Agent Venom. I gotta move my camera here. You could do something like this. Agent Venom, a lot of people forget, he's actually a pretty good character. Agent Venom on his own for PvP, he's not bad at all, right? He has iframe ignore, he's got the transcendent ability, and he's pretty tanky. And if you have his artifact, he makes not only himself a lot tankier, but he makes Carnage insanely tanky. And remember, with combat types, with no blast types except Adam, combat types really don't have a way to be countered right now, because their type advantage is their only way to counter them. And Adam is really the only blast type that has the burst damage, right? The thing is, there are other blast types for PvP, right? There's Blue Dragon, there's Magic, there's Ancient One, but remember, their damage is being decreased by 500%. So there really is not an option, which means that combat types are going to dominate. You're not going to want to use speed types, because of course they get countered, right, by the rock paper scissors. And then you're not going to want to use universals, because their recovery rate is being reduced, so they can't heal. Any universal you use cannot heal. You could try to use someone like Silver Surfer for reflect, but I think more effective than that is going to be actual combat reflect characters. So what's really interesting is, instead of using a team like this, which could be considered very expensive, you could go in the other direction, and you could bring in characters like Jessica Jones and characters like Luke Cage to bring in a bunch of physical reflect. And then you can get into even like counter strategies, because then you could try to reduce physical reflect with characters like Black Dwarf, Cull Obsidian. So there's a lot of counterplay here. I don't know exactly what the best team is going to be. This is all brand new. I think this team could be really fun. I think you could, I don't want to put Daredevil in here. The thing is, Daredevil doesn't provide any buffs for this team, but you could forego Adam, and you could go even tankier, because remember, Colossus also has physical reflect, right? People forget Colossus also has physical reflect. So you could go for something like this, and hey, why not try it right now? We're gonna give Luke the extra HP here, and we're gonna give Wolverine the buff effect. And we'll go ahead and give. I don't know why this stuff is really finicky. Sometimes it just doesn't work properly. We're gonna go ahead and save that there. I don't necessarily like Wasp on this team. Another thing you could do, like, it gets really crazy. It starts to get really crazy. This might not be the best team, okay? Don't get me wrong. But if your main goal is to just reflect, you may not even need to use Wasp, because it doesn't matter if you get debuffed. This is where the layers of the game start to really show themselves, right? And the players who understand all of these layers are going to profit the most. If I'm relying on mostly reflect to carry this team, right? It doesn't matter if I get debuffed. So then you could even do some crazy stuff. Like, you could bring in... You could do a lot of things. You could bring in Blue Marvel. He's pretty strong, even though he's universal. You could bring in Hela to increase your damage versus heroes to try to counter Wolverine, because it seems like they're really trying to highlight Wolverine's value here. Yeah. So it gets pretty spicy. You could bring in someone like America Chavez to give you reflect reduction and HP and a counter. There's some this actually might be the best. This might be a really good team. So you know what? I'm actually going to try this team here now. And we're going to see here. Just swap this over. We're going to see here what ends up happening. Let's go ahead and queue this up. You also have... you could even use Taunt. You could go to the Battlefield shop and use Taunt, the Provoke effect, on Luke Cage. I don't know if that's better than the HP, and he might need the HP, but yeah, that's an option. Another thing to remember is they introduced a new buff effect. I have it already. Remember these hidden buffs? I have the new buff effect, so I actually have to show you in this set team. I'm kind of lost in the menus right now because I'm so hype about this. The new buff effect, you may have seen it already in the Battlefield deployment. It's right here. It's all resist. So this is really good versus Jean Grey because it gives you resistances. Unfortunately, it only goes up by 4%. It starts at 10%, and then it goes 14, 18, and then at level 4, it's going to go to 22. So I believe it only goes to 26 or 30%. So it's not that much resistance, but it could make characters that already have a little bit of resistance insanely tanky versus elemental damage. So when Jean Grey finally comes back to the meta, after her week of being debuffed, or if other elemental characters come into the meta later, like Blue Dragon again, or some other characters that need to get buffs or reworks or whatever, then this could be a really good buff to try to counter some of those characters. Because if you stack enough resistance, as we know from supports like Ancient One, the damage basically becomes 0. Right? So then you could actually not even need to use Ancient One on the team, and you could still take advantage of that effect. So I don't think it's very useful right now. I actually regret buying it. You shouldn't buy it right now, because with Jean banned, there's basically no elemental characters that are going to be worth anything for the time being. But I think it's a really cool buff. And remember, there are more buffs to come. So who knows, right? There could be hidden buffs that reduce physical damage. There could be hidden buffs that reduce damage from mutants or something like that, to basically counter some other characters. So yeah, there's a lot of things to experiment with here. Yeah, okay, let's see this one here with Carnage. Let's see how this one goes. So we're getting 40%, we're getting 50% damage reduction from Colossus. Then we're getting 40% HP from America Chavez. So we should be very tanky. So Jean dies instantly. My Wolverine triggers his artifact ahead of this other Wolverine, which is actually kind of sad. Hela is doing work, as you can see there. Here comes Colossus and Luke Cage for the reflect. Let's see how effective the reflect is. Okay, we're tanking. They're not taking any damage though. It's kind of sus. Wolverine's not taking any damage. This is the advantage of iframes. I lost. Yeah. Okay. So I thought Wolverine would be very good, and I thought Hela might be a good option there. Having a bunch of villains means that you might want to stock up on hero supports. So it may be better to bringing Chavez, for example, to bring somebody like Shuri or Valkyrie, because then you're bringing a bunch of buffs to versus villains, and that's good. I mean, that really only helps counter Carnage, though. That doesn't really help counter Wolverine. So it's something to consider. But yeah, let's try this one here and see how this goes. Let's try another one here. Who do we got? Spider-Man. Okay, yeah, Carnage and Jean. Carnage is really the only one that Shuri's going to be doing anything against. So maybe you're better off bringing in somebody like Taskmaster even. I think supports are going to have a lot more value. Yeah, Jean just gets deleted. Spider-Man got deleted. They don't even stand a chance. They literally don't even stand a chance. But it's really gonna come down to whether or not Luke Cage. Yeah, Luke Cage is getting bodied, eh? Yeah, I don't think this is the play. Wow, I got destroyed. Wow. Okay, I want to do a little bit more testing here in the video, but maybe this is not the team at all. It seems like it's just stacking Wolverine and Carnage is probably going to be the play, unfortunately. Now, my Carnage has a rage on him right now. Don't ask. So that's a whole other thing. But let's go ahead and try something like this with Hela. And we'll bring Wasp. Do we want to bring Wasp back in? Or do we want to bring in more damage versus heroes? I wonder. I'm actually going to bring in, you know what? We're going to bring in Agent Venom. And we're going to see if maybe this helps out a little bit. There we go. And let's see how this goes. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be a lot of like fun testing. But any teams you find with Hulk, Spider-Man, Jean, those characters just get instantly deleted. Like it's not even like 30,000 HP is just an auto attack will do it. So, yeah. And Adam's basically the only blast type who has any chance here. But even then, with all look at that, with all these defenses, they can't even get Carnage past half HP. That's insane. Look at how tanky Carnage is when you stack Agent Venom, Colossus, and Hela. He just got his artifact triggered. But this Wolverine's gonna solo me. No. No. Can he even do enough damage? He's not. Well, yeah, he can. That's so fucking sad. God damn it. This guy had 2 debuffed characters and he still beat me because of Wolverine. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this week's Otherworld battle with the debuffs and what teams you got cooking up for Vibranium and Challenger. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.